Hello, and welcome to the Illinois LawCast, a podcast about the wisdom, wit, and curiosity of the University of Illinois College of Law. I'm your host, Chris Davies, and my guest for this episode is Kelly Salefski, Assistant Dean of Academic Administration and Dean of Students. Salefski was named our Dean of Students in June, but has been with the College of Law for 2 decades, starting in 2005, shortly after graduating with her JD. She shared about her background, her plans to help continue to improve student services, and why she never left Illinois Law after graduating. I appreciate the time she took to talk to me, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. Kelly Salefski, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You've been the Dean of Students for 3-4 months now?
Yes, yep.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going wonderful. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's a great role. I'm very excited to have been asked, and I am even more excited that I took it.
Well, let's go back to when you first got interested in law. You're a double Illini, yes, which is always something we like to tout.
Yes.
But what made you want to, after you got your undergraduate degree, come here and get a law degree?
Sure. I think I always knew that I wanted to go to law school. I have a funny little story from when I was very young. I don't have any lawyers in my family. I actually don't know that I had ever spoken to a lawyer until law school. But I always was very interested in history and politics. When I was 6, I wrote a letter on that elementary, huge lined paper to Mikhail Gorbachev, talking. I don't even know what I would have said. But so I've always been interested in it. And, you know, of course, there were a flurry of law TV shows, and I just thought, this is what I'm going to do.
Was any particular law show your favorite? Or still is, maybe? Still.
So now I can't watch law shows. It's too much. But I Law and Order, of course, L.A. Law, which will date me.
Mikhail Gorbachev might have done that first.
Mikhail Gorbachev, probably so. So those 2 shows I pretty clearly remember watching both of them.
Cool. You got your law degree and then started here very shortly after, right?
Right, very shortly. So I graduated in May, took the bar in July, and began in August of 2005, yes.
Was it always your intention to end up back at the law school, or was it just a confluence of good timing?
I think definitely a confluence of good timing. Many law students came in not really knowing what I wanted to do in law, even where I wanted to be in the world. Very common experience. And I graduated undergrad with a biology degree. So I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do environmental law. And then I had a wonderful contracts professor, Professor Colombo, who then I took a bunch of tax classes. Okay, I'm going to be a tax lawyer. And then my property professor was wonderful. I'm going to be a state and local government attorney. It really shifted with every great professor I had here. But ultimately what happened, I needed money, like many law students do. So I took a graduate assistant position in the Dean of Students office here under Dean Vermillion, just helping with paperwork and organizing. And I sort of fell in love with the logistics. And right when I was graduating, they decided to create a full-time position. And I applied, and I had the experience, and that's how I ended up here.
That was a number of years ago. We don't have to date you any further. What's made you want to stick around?
That's a really great question. A few things. I loved law school. I loved almost every second of law school. And I just felt so comfortable here. Part of what I want to do here is help students find their people and find their place. And I had found my people and I had found my place. So, you know, the wisdom is that you go to law school, and then especially here you leave, right? You know, not many people stick around Champaign, but I just, my parents met in Champaign in college. So many fond memories here, and the position opened up. And so I stayed, right? And then the love only grew. I had children and I raised them here. It's a great place to raise children. It was very hard to see myself anywhere else.
And then this Dean of Students position comes open.
Yes.
What appealed to you about that position in particular?
We have built over the past several years a wonderful team of very well-seasoned student services professionals. And that team even grew in the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. We have an embedded counselor now. We have Michael Loth, our academic success and bar support person. We have really built a wonderful team. And I thought, this is it. This is when I can take my experience over the past 20 years. In my job for most of the past 20 years was sort of big, huge projects every semester, creating the schedule, doing the whole grade apparatus, all of the final exams, taking my experience in doing those large-scale projects involving most of the people here at the College of Law into helping students day to day. And with the support team that we had built, I thought this is the perfect time. I have the support I need. We have experience. This is it.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of that's been built up recently,
yeah,
and how things have improved. What's your plan to continue to build upon the improvements that we've made recently?
Great question. So I think I mentioned this little phrase before. It's finding your people and finding your place. Mm-hmm. Our supports certainly help that. And I forgot to include, it cannot be remiss, Jolyn Caroline is now Director of Inclusive Excellence, invaluable position to help with that goal. One of my main projects, my main goals as a Dean of Students is taking all of these wonderful things, wonderful resources that we've built, but also at the university level, and getting them to our students, being able to tell them when they need things, letting them know that things are available, communicating not only to the students, but also to the rest of the College of Law, how they can help students, how they can be more involved. So getting the entire College of Law really invested in student services and what we do.
Yeah. Do you have any examples of that you've been able to take on so far?
Well, I have two examples. The first one was sort of my first day, orientation. Mm-hmm. We revamped orientation a lot, actually, and we used feedback from students from our previous years, but also from people in offices at the College of Law. Orientation is a project that takes everyone. Your office and events and faculty and staff, almost every office is involved. And I really listen to feedback from all avenues to revamp our orientation. And that includes getting students the resources when they need them. We have a lot of students that, I wasn't one, but that didn't go here for undergrad, right? And you kind of forget that. So we instituted campus tours just from some of our 2L students that actually one of them had given tours. Emma, thank you. For example, an ice cream social that included the entire faculty and staff. Getting our wonderful Inclusive Excellence Director, Jolyn Caroline, and our embedded counselor, Maggie Verklin, in front of the students in the first couple of days, letting them know what resources are available. And then second is our Law 101 program in the first year. This has changed a lot over the past several years, but one thing we found is that students, there's so much to know about being a law student. It cannot only be communicated during orientation. And there are stories from a lot of law schools, including when I went to law school, there was 3 days of orientation and then you're reading your emails and that's it. Then you should know all you need to know about law school. We don't view it that way. So our Law 101 program is now during a regular class time. It's viewed as a regular class. You need to learn how to be a law student. Our first class, this is new, was law school logistics. Literally, where are the printers? Where is Maggie Verklin, our embedded counselor's office? Who do you go to for what? Where do you click if you want to see the schedule? And then from there, career planning came and spoke with the students. Our wonderful Professor Rebecca Shina came to speak about externships. We had a whole month. Most of the month of October was exams. How do you study for exams? How do you click through the software? And then let's do a mock exam. So they've already taken a mock exam.
That sounds great. And what's the feedback been like for these programs so far? How are students responding?
Well, very well. Our attendance is amazing. That's always a concern, but this 1L class is wonderful. Attendance has been amazing at all of the programs. It is a larger 1L class, so we can't fit them all in one room at one time. So we have this Matt Petrusik, our associate director, found this program where you scan a QR code and you can ask questions in real time. Mm-hmm. And then the speaker or someone in the room can ask questions real time from all of the rooms. And there's a lot of participation in that. I think feedback has been very positive, and we definitely plan to continue that next year.
That's great. Is there anything else you're looking forward to in the future implementing as Dean of Students?
Next semester is spring, obviously. And we are going to continue Law 101, but we're going to call it Law 102. Revolutionary. But it's not going to be quite as intense. But there were just things that we didn't think were appropriate for your first semester in law school that we are going to try to communicate your second semester of law school. Let's start talking about the bar exam. Let's talk about financial wellness. So, and hey, you've got your grades your first semester. That can be pretty rough or pretty great, depending on it. But it's a difficult time for some students. So now what do? You have your grades.
You're talking about challenges for students. Yeah. Have you had anything that has come up that maybe you didn't expect that has been challenging that you've had to work through?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. I think it is the communication, making sure students first, second, and third year get all the information in the way they need, in the way that they need it, and can view it and can take it into chunks. I think it's a huge challenge of student services, not just in law school, but in higher ed generally. How do you get students what they need when they need it in a form that is digestible to them?
Interesting. And how do you use your team to help overcome challenges and to make sure that the students' needs are all being met?
Great question. So our like I said, we are a team of very experienced professionals, and we all have expertise areas. So we all meet students at different places at different times. Matt Petrusik, for example, his expertise lies in accommodations for students and student organizations. And so he is on the ground with students all of the time. Matt, what are you hearing from students? And he is actually the one that did the great question program. What are you hearing from students? How are you communicating with them? What do you think is the best way? We meet a lot, and we meet in groups, and we meet individually with each other, constantly improving and taking feedback and implementing that feedback as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm.
When you're talking to students, how much does being a double Illini help you?
Oh, that's a great question. I have a lot of war stories from law school that I like to share. And my favorite, I will say in a second, but let me finish answering this question. So it is, I think it really helps students to know that you've been through law school. Law school is, you can't really explain it coming in, and it's hard to explain coming out, right? and students, they just don't know what they don't know. And I think it helps them to hear you sat in classroom C also in the second row also with some of the same professors in the same area. And you got through it, and you are doing your best to get them through it too. Finding their people and finding their place. So I hope they relate, and I think they do relate to that. But my favorite story being a double Illini, and why you can. It's so easy to find your people and place here. I took the year I took the bar exam was the first year you could use your laptop for Illinois to take the bar, right? The first computer. But there's a limited number of spaces, and it was in one room in Chicago. So you had to sign up. The sign-up time was listed on the website, and everybody, if you wanted to use your laptop, had to sign in at this one time. When the spots were gone, they were gone, right? Well, the Illinois Bar published the time Eastern time, not Central time. And one of my wonderful classmates figured this out and told us, their classmates. And so we Illinois grads got all of the spots, or most of the spots. And I just think that really sums up what my experience was here and what I hope to continue as Dean of Students.
Yeah, there's a lot of community here. I've heard that from a lot of students,
Yes.
from a lot of the guests I've had on here. And obviously finding your people, finding your place is about having a good community. Is there anything that makes this place so special that really builds that kind of community?
Yeah, I think it's well, it is sort of location, right? We're we're not in the middle of a large city, so you are here, and you are here a lot. That is the nature of law school. You are in a building a lot, and so what you have to do is you do together. It's not a commuter school. People are that aren't leaving during the week a bunch, and so that artificially makes community. But also I think it's a little bit of the Midwest nice thing, right? You all come here and you want to make the place better and you want to enjoy where you are. Beyond that, I kind of think those are the most important elements, but we have a staff and faculty that stay. A lot of us have been here a long time. Jolynn Caroline was a double Illini. Doyle Slifer is a double Illini. A lot of other people in career planning too. So people come back, people stay, and I think that builds something.
Yeah. And you mentioned you've had some of the professors that are still
definitely.
here in class.
Absolutely. Although many of those have started, wonderful people have started to retire, which is fine. But
yes. Well, they've earned it at this point.
Yes, they
I
have.
think.
Sure.
Do you have any? You mentioned John Colombo
Yes,
as a professor that was someone you really enjoyed. Anyone else that maybe still around that you have good stories, good memories of?
Well, Professor Lori Reynolds, and she unfortunately is retired too, but Professor Kaplan was the supervisor of the Elder Law Clinic, the Elder Law Journal.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take Elder Law, the class, with him, and he knew me from the journal, and he said, Miss Salefski, I didn't see you in class today. He called me out for not taking his class. I'm like, oh, Professor Kaplan. So, and I've built such great relationships, even with professors I didn't even have. I wish I would have taken. Oh, my goodness. I have that kind of advice, too. We have had some great ones here.
We've learned a lot about you as, the law school person, the dean of students. What should people know about you as a person outside of law school?
Oh, a person outside of law school. When I get out of law school, I've been here my whole life almost. So I have 3 kiddos. My oldest is actually a sophomore at U of I here. It's maybe one of I didn't realize it, but one of the best feelings watching him with his little backpack on the quad, and he's 6 foot tall, so he's not little, but that has been amazing watching that happen. And then I have a daughter and a son. My daughter is a junior at Central, and my son is a freshman at Central. They've grown up here their entire lives. They, when they were very small, they would run around the basement in the lockers. It was very adorable to watch. But other than that, in the past year, I've had a revelation about my life. I am never going to live further than 3 blocks from a bakery or coffee shop. That's just, I've learned that about myself. I'm a huge Illini fan, and specifically basketball. And I have 2 kitties. I have Cheesecake and Tofu. I'm a cat person too.
You mentioned the bakery, but what's your go-to then?
Hopscotch Bakery. It is 3 bucks for my house. And I will say, they were really a lifeline during the pandemic. They did some incredible. They would open and they would sell everything outside, so you could order on the app. And I would walk 3 blocks in the morning before work and walk home. It's a great community there. It's a little neighborhood bakery, which is really neat.
Yeah, they have some lovely things that I could eat way too much of.
Yes, absolutely. And I do eat way too much.
Well, that's great. Kelly, thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate you sharing about your job and yourself.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you again to Kelly Salefski for her work here at the College of Law and for joining me on the podcast. Thank you to all of our listeners as well. We appreciate you listening to the Illinois LawCast. If you would like to share any comments or suggestions for the podcast, please send an email to podcast@law.illinois.edu. You can subscribe to the Illinois LawCast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts. This episode was recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Chris Davies. Special thanks to Kelly Moss for our album art and other graphics, and Krista Getke for her help in the editing process. Until next time, thanks again for listening to the Illinois LawCast.